All right, Connor, you ready to go for this? All right, so we can start when you start, or I can give you the count in at 3, 2, 1, and go. What would you prefer?
Give me the 3, 2, 1.
All right, you can have 31 minute.
Sounds good.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
What's up, Vegas? How y'all doing tonight? Hello, my name is Connor Perry. I'm representing The Last Word out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Let's go Blue, let's go Detroit, come on. Anyway, my cocktail is called the Quarter-Life Crisis. Really pays homage to just a couple of years ago. I'm pretty new in the industry, been bartending about 3 years. And in 2020, I was doing something completely different. I was in grad school, thought I'd be becoming a professor, and COVID hit. And that made everything about my life miserable. I hated just being in class all day on Zoom. I was miserable. So I made it through, doing my passion, doing my love, food, cocktails. And I, tried to work at a bar and fell in love and have been doing this ever since. And this cocktail, by no means is actually a pineapple tres leches, but it's something that very much inspired the start of it. So this is my cocktail, the Quarter Life Crisis. Hopefully I got 3/4 of the way left to go.
Thank you very much, Connor.
Right. Judges, are you ready? Last time tonight. Livio, are you ready? Oh, you're judging. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Crowd, last time tonight. So you got to give it to me loud. You got to give it to me proud. In 3, 2, 1. Connor icing down all of his glassware, his Yari mixing glass, and his glassware for his cocktail. Saving time by doing it all at once. Using that great stir technique to bring the temp down to the glassware. To help control that dilution later. Muddling a drink. So this is the first time we saw this today. There's lots of different techniques to make a cocktail. You can shake, you can stir, you can throw. Connor is muddling. What he's doing is taking that muddler and gently pressing and getting those oils and the citrus and all the flavors out of those limes. So many different ways to make cocktails, so many different ways to prepare them. And when you master them all, you're a genius. Real ingredients, great. Well, that's the pineapple. Ooh, I love that one. Makes a great pineapple handshake and daiquiri. Looking good, buddy. Fino sherry. Sherry in a cocktail. It's not your grandfather's drink anymore. Moving on to another sponsor, our new Riff Single Barrel Rye. I'm dying to try right after this. If you notice, I think every bartender here has been using a jigger to properly control the amount of liquid that goes in their cocktails. You as a home bartender, if you have to buy one bar tool, buy a jigger. It'll be the most valuable tool for your cocktails making consistently every time for you and your guests. See, now Connor's straining that water out to get all that dilution out to have fresh cold ice for his cocktail. Smart technique, instead of dumping and redoing it, saving time by doing it this way. Utilizing two different ices, pebble ice for his cocktail, and those 1x1 Hoshiaki cubes for stirring. Connor, you are halfway through, my friend, halfway through your routine. Popular technique using that fine mesh strainer. If you notice, depending on how much particles are in the fine mesh strainer, what happens at the end there, it kind of gets a little thick. Depending how you handle it, makes you a seasoned competitor, or maybe not. Connor did the correct thing. He hit it, tapped a little bit, so the goodness came through and the sediment stayed on top. Now Connor is stirring his cocktail, so what we do here is this is when we applaud. When he stirs, you applaud, he smiles. See how that works? You have no idea how that puts them at ease and relaxes them a little bit, so thank you. Looking for those perfect, consistent levels all the way across. Tony Abou-Ganim gave him the nod. Now this is smart. He's actually taking the bar spoon and doing not quite a stir or a swizzle, but just making sure those two cocktails are well incorporated into each other.
Just to see with all the faces, you were the one next to me. You can feel the lines start to tremble, watching what you know out to see it. You can see your life out the window tonight.
Took the time to dry his hands before he puts on his glove. There's nothing worse than putting a glove on a wet hand. You can barely get it on. You forget what's going on, but probably a lesson learned from doing it from the past. Like, I should probably dry my hands before I put this. Yes. Well, I learned the lesson twice myself. One minute. Smart technique, using a glove to touch the straws, to put them in there so it's sanitary opposed to taking your bare hands and putting it in there or using tweezers. I like the glove technique because it saves you time. Now you can pretty much touch everything and be a little more efficient and quicker. I agree, beautiful garnish. Look at that. Pineapple frond, that orange art. Oh, took full advantage of that 15-minute garnish time. 30 seconds. Looking to present. 10, 9, and there we have Connor Perry. 9 seconds to spare. Ladies and gentlemen, our last competitor of the night. How did he do? You guys are good. Not as good as Clark, I agree. Connor, come on down, my friend. Drink runner. Tiffany, the lovely Tiffany Souls, already here. Barbacks attack that bar. Connor, welcome back, buddy. How are you feeling from the last competition to this one? What has changed from when you competed last year to how you competed this year?
I mean, honestly, so much. Last year, as I said, I've only been doing this about 3 years, and that means bartending, not just competing. And between last year and this year, I've grown so much as a competitor. I've been practicing so much more. I've gotten so much more help from friends, from mentors, from family. A lot of them are watching. I see so many of you. Thank you so much. Love y'all. But yeah, I mean, just truly the professionalism, I think, is the biggest thing. I've just grown so much in the way in which I'm attacking these competitions.
Now, let me ask you this, because every competitor is part of the USBG, the United States Bartenders Guild, and an active member. Aside from this competition, what benefits does being a member of the USBG get you?
So many. I mean, it opens up so many opportunities for conferences, for competitions, for just networking. There's so many people who've reached out to me that I've met through these competitions, through just the USBG. I'm a member at large. I don't even have a chapter, and still there are friends that I've made just through the USBG, messaging people on Instagram and things like that. So, I mean, it's a huge thing. Plus, I don't know, there's something kind of beautiful about being part of a guild. You know, it makes me feel so professional and medieval, you know, being an artisan with a guild. So
now let me ask you this: as a bartender who's maybe taken the step to do a couple competitions, but then finally hears about USBG and IBA bartending classic competitions, what one piece of advice would you give them to prepare for their first time?
I'd say you have to attack it a little bit differently. Like, this is I love competing IBA, but it's very much all about showmanship. It's all about doing everything properly, making sure there's not a single drop anywhere, doing everything just perfect. And I think some of the other competitions that I've gotten to be a part of, it's a little bit more casual. It's a little bit more, you know, can you entertain? Can you talk with someone while you're making the cocktail? Kind of like it is when you're working at the bar, you know, every night. And this one's a little bit more about showmanship, a little bit more prim and proper, a little bit more fancy, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Connor Perry.